Peace and love, good people. It's your man Nat Burns, aka at Nat Busy, and I'm coming to you live at the God Hour. You heard? Pardon self, I'm a little behind schedule. It's been a minute since I did this, so a couple technical difficulties kind of prevented me from moving like I wanted to move this morning. But this evening, you see, I'm all discombobulated, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to get the guard on the line. Where is he? Let me get the guard. Hold on. We're going to get this right. You heard? We're going to get this right. I am here. It is a little past the guard hour. Like I said, it was a couple technical difficulties. We try to be prompt and precise, but we're here right now, man. Peace and love to everybody on the check-in. As soon as I get the guard on the line, we're going to get right to the proceedings this evening. It has been a minute. I have been on hiatus. A lot of things happen, man. We started this thing during the pandemic just as a dialogue between the community. And here we are 2 years later. We still alive, man. So we blessed for that because, at the time a lot of this was happening, we didn't think we were going to be here. And we are here. So let's be thankful for that. As my man Zip with the Drip would say, let's get to that, Outside of that, man, I'm just happy to be here. Let me see if I can get the guard on. All right, we're going to see what we could do. Let me see what we could do. I hate being behind schedule. I hate being behind schedule, but we're going to get right to the proceedings this evening. How's everybody else doing, man? Everybody holding it down? The weather done broke. It's nice and toasty outside now, We got to turn them air conditioners on. Them bills about to go up, man. Speaking of bills, seems like they trying to price us out of life right now, man. Everything is going up except the chance of living, Price of living going up, chance of living going down. Big shout out to DJ Red Alert. He used to say that all the time. And we thought he was playing, but he wasn't. It was real. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can get the proceedings this evening. I'm trying to get busy, but we'll see what's going on. Outside of that, is everybody good? Everybody happy? Everybody thanking God to be here? You know what I'm saying? Thank yourself for holding it down, being good to yourself. Because it's really hard, man, sometimes trying to navigate these turbulent times, man. Gas is $5 a gallon. I never thought I'd see that on the East Coast, man. I remember paying $1 and something a gallon not that long ago. $2 and something a gallon not that long ago. I mean, they doubled up everything, I tell people all the time, they got a lot of jobs out here now that's paying $15, $20 an hour. But $15 an hour is like the new $7.50 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And $20 an hour is like the new $10 an hour. Like, everything doubled, Rents just went up crazy. People paying crazy money in rent. And, man, what are we going to do, man? How are we going to maintain in this wicked situation we got going on, Whose fault is it? Everybody wants to, assign blame to somebody, Whose fault really is it? You know what I'm saying? Is it Trump's fault on the outgoing? Is it Biden's fault on the incoming? Is it just a world thing, finances? Like, what's really going on? We have to really get to the bottom of this because people are out here suffering, man. It always, they say when white America gets a cold, black people get pneumonia. So if it's hurting the average white family, what it's doing to the average black family. We trying to get through it, man. And how we gonna do that? We definitely have to come together, man. Big shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson been preaching that group economics forever. We didn't listen. It's a shame that a dollar only stays in the black community for 6 hours before it goes out of the community, and other communities it stays in there for days and days and days. I don't understand. I do not understand. Yeah, the guard said he might be a little behind. Let me just Hit him and just let him know it's right here. I'm on, you know. But yeah, man. Yeah, we going through it right now, man. We going through it. We're gonna get through it together because that pandemic hit. I remember when that came, man, we didn't think we was gonna live, especially people like me, you know, man of a certain stature. You know, we thought it was over with. You get that little cold and it was out of here. But we maintained and we got through it. But now it seems like they're trying to financially put us in a situation where we may not recover. You know, this is the time when the you know, when they say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Sometimes when the going gets tough, the tough go out and start taking. You know, and that's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid people from going to this place spiritually that's anarchy. You know, where you just feel like, yo, I got to take mines. You know, people work hard for theirs, and somebody else come take it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to go to the place where it's pretty much like the purge. You know. But sometimes that's what it's feeling like. I don't know. But I know something's got to give. Does anybody have any suggestions? You know, all these brilliant minds that we have, you know, in this world, especially in this country, what are some of the suggestions? What are some of the things that we can do to maintain, man, and come together and help each other? You know, there's a lot of stunting going on these last few years. You know, there's a lot of people getting a lot of paper. You know, and they were doing a lot of big things, you know. G4s, if you don't know what that is, that's an airplane, a private plane. A lot of jewelry, a lot of cars, a lot of nice fancy houses and all of that. I wonder how that's holding up, man. You go out here, you buy you a nice SUV, one of them big boy toys, you know, dual exhaust and all of that, V16 or whatever. Man, how that's holding up, you know. That's crazy. And I don't like to speak about all the doom and gloom. I'm a very optimistic person, man. I want to see things happen in a good way for the economy, man. I want to see this thing turn around. I want to see people be able to really take care of their families. And when we get into this generational wealth thing, but the way the economy is looking now, man, I don't know, man. I don't know how people are going to maintain, man. We got to hold it down, you know. And again, thanks to everybody on the check-in. I'm waiting for my esteemed guest. He said he's running a little behind, but when he gets on, I'm sure we're going to have a very in-depth and interesting discussion. I want to pick his brain, as you can tell by the background here. This is the great city of Toronto. Asia Blue, salute, beloved. Asia Blue, she's funny, man. She's not for everybody, so don't follow her unless you about that life. You know what I'm saying? She's going to keep you laughing in a very mature way. I really appreciate the humor that I see on her page. But as I said, our esteemed guest that I'm waiting on, he's representing the great city of Toronto. That's where he's currently residing, in that area. So I put that up in homage, you know, to the city of Toronto. I'd like to visit that one day. You know, I'd like to get back up to the great north. You know what I'm saying? Canada. I've been to the west coast of Canada. I've been to British Columbia, you know, Vancouver, Victoria, places like that. And that was in the 90s, man. I had a ball, had a blast. It's been a minute, though. I would like to get back to Canada. I wonder what's going on in Canada. That's why I can't wait for the guests to come on so I could talk to them about, you know, black folks in Canada and, you know, what's going on. You know, I know Drake represents that city of T-Dot. I know we have my man Cardinal Official representing the T-Dot. I think he was the first one that put Toronto on my map, you know, after the Raptors, you know, Vince Carter, you know, putting that city on the map and all of that. But I definitely want to get up there and check it out, man, see what's going on, you know? Asia laughing because she knows she be wildin'. She be wildin'. Yeah, man. But outside of that, still working on music, you know. Hip-hop is in my blood. I'm definitely going to keep rhyming and keep rapping and keep doing what it do to keep pushing the culture forward. I think we're derelict in duty if we give up on a culture that we created simply because somebody outside the culture say we're too old and we can't market you. Nah, we ain't doing that no more. I think us older, esteemed gentlemen in the community have the most to say because we've witnessed the most, we've seen the most. And hip-hop is the most plain conversation sometimes you can have in music. You know what I'm saying? we get straight to it. And if we can have a lot of these people getting on records to talk about all this negativity, then we definitely can have some elder statesmen, some people with some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding get on a microphone and talk some truth to the power, man, and step up like we supposed to, you know. Nah, we need to come back to the culture, man. We the ones created these beats. Everybody's sampling the old stuff, you know. So if you was good enough to make the old stuff that people sampling, and you good enough to make some new stuff that's just as dope as the old stuff you made. Maybe that's just me, you know. But big shout out to everybody that's still doing it. Big shout out to my comrade, the Microphone Prince. Everybody in that masterclass camp, DJ Ecstasy, DJ Speed, my man Legacy, my man James Sexa, one of the dopest artists / graffiti artists. My man Dr. Bombay, and everybody that's pushing with us on that masterclass movement. Big shout out to my good brother King Dave too, man. He has a dope project that we're about to re-release, man. And big shout out to him for representing that God Hour apparel in that last freestyle he put out, man. I really appreciated that, King. Give you your flowers, man. You definitely be spitting. You definitely one of the lyricists that we need to be tuning into, because he's talking that talk, you know. Finny God, that's Finny God. That's my man Finny, man. Represent ATL by way of Seattle, by way of Miami, by way of. That's my good brother, man. A lot of family, man. A lot of good family. I feel like a fish out of water a little bit, man. No doubt. I feel like a fish out of water a little bit. It's been so long since I did the God Hour, man. It was just so much happening, man. I had to tend to a lot of, first things first. But, coming back and sitting in front of this camera and talking to my people feels good. But, sometimes it could be a little nerve-wracking. You know what I mean? But, nevertheless, I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. One of the things I'm not here for, again, is, this violence that's happening in our communities. I'm not here for that, man. I wish we could get a hold on that, man. People are shooting people that they wouldn't have slapped back in the day, Back in the day, somebody used to, cross you the wrong way, disrespect, or whatever, you may smack them. You may punch them in the face, which I still don't condone, even though that's how we came up. Violence is never the answer. But nowadays, people are shooting from down the street, across the street, out the car, at people that they probably could have had a conversation with and squashed whatever the issue is. Everybody's an op. I think we need to get it together, man. We got enough ops. We need some allies. And why can't we start with those who look just like us, man? Those that go through the same thing we go through. I think it's so sad that these children think it's okay to take a firearm and go to another person and kill them and not care about what's going on with that person's family. As a person who's experienced homicide in my family and on my side of the equation, you don't know, man. When you get that call, and the next call you got to make is to the precinct, or you got to go to the crime scene, and then from there you got to contact the funeral home, and you got to find a suit for your beloved. You know what I'm saying? You got to find a preacher. You got to go through all of this to send your loved one off because somebody got mad, couldn't contain their anger, and decided it was, their right to take another person's life, man. I think we got to really, really get to the heart of what that's about, man, because this is ridiculous, man. Everybody is judge, jury, executioner, and it's just getting more and more ridiculous, man, that these people are losing their loved ones in this vicious fashion, I'm taking suggestions for that because I do build myself as a father of the village. I am an elder statesman, man. These gray hairs ain't for nothing. I earn each and every one of them. If you've been watching the God Hour Live over the course of the 2 years I've been doing it, you will see that this thing was a little darker. But now it's getting a lot whiter, because time is ticking. But guess what? Time is a man-made constraint because yesterday and tomorrow is today. But still, we need to speak some of this truth to some of these powers that be, because our kids are out here dying over music, I mean, literally over music, man. This is beyond a Tupac and Biggie situation at this point, man. This has come down to straight good against evil, and evil is putting in that work right now. So we need people to be good. We need some good people to step up and say that enough is enough. We need to join hands. We need to join minds. We need to join forces. And we need to really step up, man, and keep our people safe, man. Keep our people healthy. Because this is not working as it stands. It's not sustainable, you know? Peace and love on the check-in. Peace and love, you know? This is not sustainable, you know? It's becoming a pandemic in and of itself. What up, Kenya? What's going on? The Queen of Customer Service in the building. I missed you. My brother C-Man in the building. What's going on, King? C-Man, we about to do, speaking of music, man, that's one of the most phenomenal drummers I've heard in a long time, man. I can't wait to have him play behind me while I get on the pause, while I get on the MIC pause and rock out. You heard? You know? That's what we doing. Making beautiful music for beautiful people, man. How can we curb the violence in the music? How can we talk to our own kids about what they're doing is leading to their detriment? You know, everybody's talking about drill music. Drill is just another word for kill music. You know what I'm saying? When they say drill, they talking about drilling you with bullets. How can we get them to see that that's not a worthwhile, that's not a worthy thing to be talking about? Like, it's frustrating, man, because I remember when I was coming up and I started, and you know, rap had went a little darker. You know, you had your NWAs, and then the East Coast had to be sure that it was just gangsters, the West Coast, and all this, that, and the third. You know, I remember when they were talking about censorship, and they were trying to censor Tupac and NWA, Luke had fought his battle and all. We didn't want to hear them messing with our freedom of speech. So I do understand the importance of freedom of speech, but I do understand that there's a big difference now in the music. That's a difference between the entertainment value and the difference between, you know, the corruptive value that it has, man. These kids are so incorrigible that they listen to these songs, and those songs don't become entertainment, they become instructions. And these kids take these instructions and they land themselves either in a casket or they find themselves behind bars. You know what I mean? And either way, we suffer as a community. We suffer as a family. You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop that. We can't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? We cannot go out like that. But I digress. I'm still waiting for my esteemed guest to show up. I don't know, maybe he's in traffic. How's traffic in Toronto? You know, like I said, I ain't never been there. But I would like to know how it goes down there. Oh, cool. Okay. We're gonna get right to the proceedings this evening. My man about to come through, you know? And we gonna really wax poetic. We're gonna really build, you know? Kenya said, how have I been? I've been okay. I'm doing fair, full square, you know? I'm happy to still be here, breathing God's good air. You know, the universe has been good to me. I've been good to the universe, doing my part. And it's good to see you guys, man. It's good to see you, Ken, that you still hanging in there. And congratulations on your daughter. You know, I seen her graduate from, I think it was elementary, was it? Or something. Time is flying. But yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm healthy. You know? Everything is love. My man said he coming through, so I'm just waiting on my man to get set up where he could come through. Because this brother here is a wealth of knowledge, and I want him to share some of that with us. Middle school. Daughter's going to middle school. That's dope, man. That's dope. You know, my kid just graduated high school a little while ago. He's about to embark on his journey in college, so let's get to that. But with no further ado, we're gonna get right to the proceedings this evening. Come through, holler at me, so we can chop it up. Peace to the God.
Peace.
Peace. Let me see. Let me turn this up a little bit. Can you hear me, God?
Yeah, true indeed, man. Can hear you. No problem.
Peace, man. I just want to take this time to welcome you to the God Hour Live, man. It's long overdue. But, you know, if you could take some time and just let the people know who you are and what you do and all of that good stuff like that, I'd appreciate it.
Hey, man. Peace to the gods and the earth. My name is Born King Mathematics Allah. In the name of Allah, you know, I'm here to add on and build and make knowledge born. You know, I do many things. I'm a civilizer, a youth educator. You know, I deal with the music industry, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely building and adding on in that field as well. And I'm just here to teach and make knowledge born, brother. You know, that's basically the science, man.
True indeed. True indeed. Let me just make sure we got Minister Freedom. He's coming through, right?
Yeah. My brother Minister Freedom coming through too.
We get a 2-for-1 here, man.
Yeah.
I
No
love
doubt.
it, man. Let's see if
doubt.
we get the God to come on. There he is. Peace to the God, man.
Thanks.
What's going
Save
on?
our nation, D Mecca.
Now,
that's how we do it, like family.
Now, Minister Freedom, can you take a second to introduce yourself to the good people?
Man, peace everybody, man. I come in the name of Minister Freedom Allah, man. I'm a God, a 5%er, activist, a teacher, man, a father, man, out here in the city of D Mecca, man. I'm one of Allah's sons and one of the representatives out here building to be born, man. So I'm just one of the positive brothers, man, trying to make a change on the community and the world around me, man. Peace, God. And it's a pleasure to be on here with you too, man. I was willing that we could eventually get together and do some work, man. That's peace, man. Peace to God.
Man, we just getting started, man. It's gonna take a village, and I'm down for it, man. Now, as you can see in the background,
before I see you got T-Dot in there. That's all good. We all family. You know, D Mecca's here too. But we want to ask you as well for you to introduce yourself as well, and you know, what's your affiliation with the nation and whatnot?
Well, I came up during the time, man. I'm a child of the '70s, New York City, New York State, New York City. I'm from Long Island. So that's technically not New York City, but you can't tell us that. You know what I'm saying? We in and out of Queens, we in and out of Brooklyn, Manhattan, whatever. And I came up in an era where this was heavy in my, you know, hold on, somebody else trying to holler at me. I came up during a time where this was, I think my man just left. But I came up during the time where this was just part of our culture, man. It was, you know, I had cousins coming home from the justice, which is the which is jail, the penal system. And they had this new lingo where when they were telling me that I was a black man, and as a black man that I was God, and they was letting me know about the mathematics and the supreme alphabet, and they was schooling me on the 120 and things of that nature. And then of course the hip hop culture took a turn when I was in my teenage years, and we were introduced to the God Rakim Allah, who again became somebody that was a teacher of sorts for us, and kind of indoctrinate us into this new philosophy for a lot of us who came from traditionally Christian households.
And he's from Long Island too. He's from Long Island as well.
Indeed. I always try to tell people, man, when you think of a lot of people's favorite rapper, who they call the greatest of all times, man, it's Strong Island right there on the map, man. We'll try to see if we can get Minister Freedom back on here. But that's my indoctrination into this thing of ours. You know what I'm saying? And and when I came up with this thing called the God Hour, it's part of our lingo. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my man, my good brother Lion. Salute to him. I was hoping he'd check in today. I'm trying to bring Minister Freedom back. But we were chopping it up during the pandemic, and it was about maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and he was like, yo, man, we should go outside with a bullhorn and just talk to the community. I said, yo, we could do one better than that. D-Nice is going live every day. Everybody's tuning in so they could dance and listen to music. How about we get people together where we could talk about what's going on, like in a dialogue? He said, all right, that's peace. When you want to do it? I said, yo, let's do it at the God Hour. He said, oh, yeah? That sounds peace. Because for those of us that know Supreme Mathematics, the God Hour is 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? And we took it from there, you know, and we that went on for a nice while, man. I think I talked to over 200 and some odd people from different walks of life, different professions. Peace, God, you back?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Peace.
Right. Okay. So basically, that's how this all started, and I know that there was I don't know if it was it you, Minister Freedom, that reached out to me when you guys had the God Hour podcast that you guys were creating.
Yeah.
And I know I took some exception to it because I had already had this platform going, but I did know that it was very important for brothers like yourself, brothers who are very indoctrinated in the 120, brothers that are really doing the work, studying the lessons, and keeping the culture moving forward, you know, to get out here and really, you know, explain to the people, a lot of laymen's that really don't understand none of this terminology that we may be using in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to lead that off?
Well, you want to just we could just break, because the reason why I brought Minister Freedom is because that's my brother, you know, that I build with, and we do Zoom classes where we educate newborns into the science of Allah's mathematics and the teachings of Allah's 5%. You know what I mean? And like he said, he was doing the God Hour, and then came across you. That's how we even came across you. How you was using the God Hour, so then he had to change this to the God and Earth Hour, because
which was only right anyway. We can't forget the Earths.
Definitely can't forget the Earths, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I let the God build on how that came about and everything like that as well, you know. Yeah, peace of God.
For me, God, it's like as what we striving to do. You know what I'm doing with the 5% connection. You know, which is we've had to come to an understanding that on the internet and in social media as a whole, the culture and the mindset of a lost 5%ers has to be represented in the right and exact fashion. That is a direct representation of what we teach, what we're about, of our way of life. You know, so when we came up with and that's kind of what the platform is about, the 5% connection, to help individuals that's interested in the culture find it, who help these individuals who on Google and who online looking for our way of life and who want to learn about the 5%ers. We have a means to connect them with that. So when we came out with the podcast, essentially, you know, we wanted to create a live platform where, you know, the gods could come together, can dialogue about the teachings and the culture, and connect with people in a live form. You know what I mean? So, like you said, the term the God Hour is definitely a name that's synonymous in our culture that people know. But like you said, you know, what we do know is we ain't the only brothers out here that's building and that's doing different things. So you know, it just more came to a fulfillment and an add-on to us to say, yo, we're gonna call it the God and Earth Hour. You know,
no doubt, and I appreciated that, man,
oh, yeah.
because you know, a lot of times dialogue is gets a lot of get lost in translation. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was peace, because you didn't have to. Nobody can really take a monopoly on any of this lingo. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been around forever. You know, Wu-Tang was probably the first ones that people probably heard use the term the God Hour and some of their music and things of that nature. And big shout out to all the good brothers from the Wu. You know what I'm saying? A Method Man is another one.
I mean, not
from
to cut your wisdom, brother, but I disagree. I feel like the 5% does have a monopoly on the culture and the lingo, because it belongs to us. It doesn't belong to the 85%. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think like the God said, a proper representation of brothers using it and representing it those should be the only people really using it. I know people pick up the slang from the music and different things like that, but a lot of things like that gets misconstrued, and you know, people get confused of who the real gods is. You know what I'm saying? Because people is using the slang.
And even I was gonna say that too, Born King. Even to your point, you know, I wouldn't necessarily. I could see where you at with using the Wu-Tang. I got a Wu-Tang used in hip hop. You know what I mean? For us, you know, it really go back, man, to the early '60s. You know what I'm saying? The '65, '67. That's a part of a science in our culture that we call the science of the clock. You know what I mean? Where Allah gave the understanding of how we use the supreme mathematics and understand the science of the clock to better interpret ourselves in the world and our everyday science. So we know when we taught the God Hour is the time when we come out of it. When whatever you was going through during your day, now you start going to the next day after the God Hour. So, you know, it does have, like the God said, it's very culturally significant. It's because it's a science to it. However, I agree with you, because one thing that my brothers from New York did very well was teach so hard that the very culture and the very language became a part of the very talk and essence of New York. You know what I mean?
Hip hop in general now.
Hip hop in general, absolutely. Well, we know the birth of hip hop is New York. You know what I'm saying? And the origin in that hip hop was the gods. So it was just an ebb and flow. You know what I mean? So I think for us to be even, to have this conversation even on that, I think that we can attribute that to just the teaching, man. And even when I built with certain guys about it, it's all good. We need as many, we need as many shows and podcasts and things that's synonymous with the culture as we can, because those things can be the keys and or the doors to introduce the young to the culture. You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of that, I think that's a perfect segue. Could y'all, one of you, it doesn't matter, explain what the 5% Nation is and how do we come to a term called the 5% Nation, or a name called the 5% Nation?
No problem, man. It'll be my pleasure, man. The 5% is a culture and a teaching that goes all the way back to the, like I said, early 1960s, and particularly 1964, when a man who was a member of the Nation of Islam left and began to teach the some of the science that he learned in the Nation of Islam, along with some of the understandings that he came to in his own mind, and teach it to the group of brothers and the young that he affectionately called his 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? So those individuals and those that he taught when he in his walks were known as his 5%ers. That's what he said. We was his 5%ers because we taught. You know what I mean? And he taught that the black man was God. Now the teaching, the 5%, comes from a lesson in what's known as the 120 lessons. In the Nation of Islam, they call it the Supreme Wisdom. However, that lesson talks in particular 3 lessons. One that talks about the 5% in this poor part of the planet Earth. They are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the
teachings of the 10%.
Who are all wise and righteous, and who know who the true and living God is, and teach that the Almighty true and living God is the supreme being, black man of Asia, and also teach freedom, justice, and equality to all the
human families of the planet Earth.
And those individuals being those ones who designated to teach, right? And contrary to the teachings of the 10%, the rich slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies so that they will believe that the Almighty true and living God is a spook and cannot be seen by the physical eye, otherwise known as the bloodsuckers of the poor. Right? So we teaching in contrary to those rich slave makers who teaching the poor lies. And the people that they teaching are what's known as the 85%, who are the uncivilized people, animal eaters, slaves of a mental death and power, people who do not know their origin in this world, and they worship that which they know not. They are easily led in the wrong direction, hard to be led in the right direction. They was 85%.
So the ones living in triple stage darkness.
Yeah, they living in
deaf and dumb.
Peace, God.
Right.
So we became known as his 5%ers because he left the mosque and said that he was Allah. In the Nation of Islam, they teach that God came in the person of Master Farrar Muhammad, which is the truth. He did. He was a God. He came to Elijah and them when they was lost. However, he came to the understanding that if Farrar was God, then so was he. And he was no longer, his name was no longer Clarence. He wasn't the 13th Clarence in the Nation of Islam. His last name wasn't X. He declared that his name was Allah and that he was God. And that those that he taught became his sons. The father and the son is one and the same. Because not only was we fatherless, we lacked knowledge. And this was the birth from these first initial 9 students, whom we call the first 9 born, became and laid the foundation for what we now know as the 5% Nation.
No doubt.
We call it the Nation of Gods and Earth.
So what do you think happened between the early 60s when the father, brought this knowledge, to his babies, and what happened throughout until we start hearing it again in hip hop? Because I'll be honest with you, as I spoke to it, the reason I was aware of it because I had cousins. I had people in my neighborhood in New York, that were coming home from the penal system. They were coming home from jail. They were coming home from prison, and they were, with this new philosophy. My family's from the South. All of a sudden, I got a cousin talking about he don't eat pork, he don't eat swine. I got him, telling me that the black man is God. I got my mom telling me, I wish you would blaspheme the Lord's name in this house. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think happened during that course of 40 years that
I'm gonna add on like this.
Mhm.
There's always a high tide and a low tide with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And we work, like the God said, we working against the 10%. So the 10% is doing his job just like God is doing his job. So you got the 10% that are feeding the masses, trick knowledge, lies, you know what I'm saying? And they feeding it through the music, you know what I'm saying? And then you got us, which is the gods that are being suppressed, because really and truly, it ain't cool no more to have knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, in our days, it was more of awareness. Brother, it was cool, it was fashionable to have knowledge of self. You know what I mean? Like you was talking about coming up in the golden era. That's why I got knowledge of self in the golden era. So you already know this is all an agenda, right? So the devil's out there teaching lies, doing his job, and that's what's going on. So that's why there's always a flux of negativity that's always going to be on a high tide and a low tide. But the 5% is always going to be the 5%. We're always going to be on the underground level. You know what I'm saying? And we're always going to be on the grassroots level anyways. That's why we the 5%. There's always going to be a small group of people that know who the true living God is, that know what time it is. It's about teaching the babies and adding on. So even if we're not on the forefront and, it ain't the popular thing right now, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always the chosen few that choose themselves. You feel me? So, that's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? And even now with, this quote unquote woke, kind of, thing going on where people are, woke now, which is supposed to be like a semi-conscious thing or whatever. That's just another form of trick knowledge to me, because motherfuckers is not woke, you know what I mean? But they using that as a form of semi-knowledge itself, like they woke, but they still eating swine, or they still believe in a mystery God, but somehow they woke. That don't make no sense to me. You know what I mean? But anyways, we deal with knowledge of self. That's the foundation. If you say you got knowledge of self, that means you don't believe in a mystery God. Because having knowledge of self don't mean, you just pro-black, or, you know what I'm saying, you got some Afrocentric history or some shit, and you know what I'm saying? That's just the foundation. That's the tip of the iceberg. If you say you got knowledge of self, you know you the God, you know you the earth. That's what knowledge of self means, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people have it twisted, but I'm just, set the record straight. Just because you Afrocentric, you wear dashiki, but you still pray to a mystery God, you ain't got knowledge of self. You know what I mean? So, that's just my add-on, and today's knowledge power, and knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? And without that knowledge of self, you got no power. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it, Yeah, God. So that's how, that's the science right there.
No doubt. I just want to take a second to shout out some of the notables on the top check-in, man. Atlantis Bill, definitely got to shout him out, man. That's a brother that I check for on YouTube, man. It's always breaking down the day's mathematics. You know what I'm saying? And always represent with actual facts and things of that nature. Also, big shout to the good brother Hakeem Green, man. Channel Live of the group Channel Live, man. One of the hardest brothers working in underground hip hop, doing his thing. Also want to shout out my man Big Snow on the check-in, Steady Flow, man. So when we talk about the mathematics, are we able to break down what the mathematics are for a layman that doesn't understand what we're talking and when we use that term?
Yeah, God. I mean, supreme mathematics, man, key to understanding his relationship with the universe. That's all it is. It's a system for a God to interpret the world around him at no limit of time. Mathematics is the most supreme, indefinite science in the universe. Mathematics is everything. everything in existence is defined by mathematics. If it's not defined by mathematics, it does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So for a supreme, absolute, living being, living God like the black man, the only supreme, the most high and supreme means for him to communicate and understand the world around him will have to be mathematics, God. You know what I'm saying? And that's what supreme mathematics is. It's 10 principles attached, 10 numerical characters, 10 numerical principles of the mathematical system applied to principles.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody care to break down the supreme math from
Say
Knowledge of
Of
Born?
course.
simple. I would just take it from here, God. All you need is the first three. Now, one is knowledge, two is wisdom, and three is understanding. One is knowledge. One is the foundation of the entire mathematical system. The entire universe is built upon one, a single atom. Or to know how we say number one. That's knowledge. That's why we say one is knowledge, because knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence.
Mm-hmm.
Two is wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you bring one knowledge to another knowledge, that individual can then become wise.
Yeah.
So wisdom is a widened dome, a widened mindset. And understanding is what you gain from having the both of them.
Mm.
Having the foundation and having the knowledge. And then having that wisdom.
No
And then
doubt.
wisdom, bro. That's just where I would go with it, dog. Just those first three, man. You know what I'm saying? The rest of it, God, man, you know what I'm saying? I would say it's it's for the adept. It's for the
For what? Pardon me?
huh?
You said it's for the what?
I said the rest of them, in my opinion, God, is for the adept, meaning those that study.
Okay.
Those that study. Because if you're not studying, it's almost, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fact.
Now, was there ever a resurgence of the philosophy of the way of life, or was it a situation where it never really went nowhere? It's just that
It never went nowhere, right?
Never went
because
nowhere.
I'm just being honest. I'm a 50-year-old man. I'm proud to say it, because I fought the hard fight to be 50 years old, and I know that when I would go outside of New York as a youngster, people never heard of some of the terminology that, like I said, I was just using because it was a part of my culture and my where I came up at. So even when you call somebody G, yo, what up, G? What up, B? People didn't know that those were terms that came from the 5% Nation. When you said B,
No question.
you're calling somebody black man. If you said G, you calling somebody God. You know what I'm saying?
Well, God, there hasn't been anywhere that has had a massive influence of the culture like how it was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
However, you have had a substantial spread of the knowledge in proportion to those places in which it spread, very, very largely in all throughout the country, several other continents, other countries, all throughout the penal systems, all throughout America. So there are many cities. Like, for example, God, the God, Born King, he's in Canada. Like we call Seattle.
Facts.
I'm in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You in detail?
Right, true indeed.
What up, though? All right.
True indeed. And it's been a very active community of Gods and Earths here since the early 90s.
Wow.
Probably the same in Canada, God. You know what I'm saying? It all started in the tri-state area. First it happened in the tri-state, and then it just started to go further and further out. Right now, man, on our platform, the 5% Connection, man, to date, man, we've touched over 3,000 people all over the world. I want the knowledge right now, in today's time. Got an inbox full right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's ever stopped.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever stopped.
No doubt. So for those that are listening and they're becoming, their interest is becoming piqued and things of that nature, I know sometimes what I've heard is that this is for the babies. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for those who, you've been here for a while. You know. So when you got somebody that's coming into this new information and they say, I want to know more about it, and they're not a baby, they're not a child per se. What advice would you give them for finding out more about this and indoctrinating into their daily life?
Find somebody older than them who's willing to teach them.
Yeah.
Their peer
Yeah.
group willing to teach
Mm-hmm.
you. If you 30 and you trying to learn this, you need to be trying to connect with a God that's older than 30.
Yeah.
40,
Yep.
you need to be trying to find a God that's older than 40. If you 40 and 50, don't call me. I'm 31. I'm not about to teach you. I'm not teaching nobody that's not younger than me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now, if you 20,
That's a rule.
25, 24, 26, 27, 28, even if you 30 or 31, we in the book. But we taught to teach the young.
Mm-hmm.
Now, primarily, our target audience is 16 and under. However, individuals taught to teach those that are younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
So can I ask Minister Freedom? At 31 years old, bro, that's how long I've been out of high school. You know what I'm saying? And I look at a lot of your counterparts that are your age. They don't seem to be interested in anything like this whatsoever on the surface. How was this brought to you? And at what age, what physical degree were you when this was brought to your knowledge?
I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
I was 18. And I mean, in my opinion, bro, honestly, even a lot of my contemporaries, it's only going to be really 1 to 2% of them that may be interested. They pass the age threshold. After a man really get about 21, bro, he really got his mind made up on what his outcome and viewpoint in life is going to be.
Right.
But if we go back in time 12, 13 years ago when this was brought to your life, what was going on that made this even interest you as opposed to some of the other people that don't want to hear nothing about nothing?
I was asking why.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking, why did God forsake me? Why did God choose not to bless me but bless the people in Grosse Pointe? I was asking why. Why did God make it to where the black man was so fucked up? Why? Why does my community look like this? Why did my people have to go through slavery? I was in college, and these are the questions I was asking. Why? Why did this happen to my people? And through along that search, I found the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's real heavy though, because my question was always how. How is it that we became Christians at the very same time we became slaves?
Because the two practices went hand in hand. The key to your enslavement was Christianity.
But then again, I have to ask, well, how come our people, the ones that raise us, our first teachers are our mothers, you know what I'm saying? Our fathers, our elders. How come they were so indoctrinated into this Christianity thing? And I'm not trying to knock anybody's religion.
It wasn't that we were indoctrinated in it. The first wave of us, bro, you have to remember, anybody who bucked was beaten to near death, tarred and feathered, tied to 2 horses, set on fire, and then they beat the horses till they tear his ass apart in front of the whole family. So anybody who didn't get in line got hung up on a tree. And then the rest of the motherfuckers either got in line. The children, this all they know. Think if you a child and I killed, and it was common practice to separate parents. So I sold you or killed your daddy. I done fucked your mama. I done maybe sold her when I'm tired of looking at her. Now you stuck here. So I may have 6, 7, 8, 9 of you little motherfuckers that was just little orphans that I own, that belong to me, and I can teach you anything I want. Our people was put in a frozen, independent mind state, bro. Our women were raped, pillaged, and mentally destroyed. And any man who wanted to fight or try to stop this shit, bro, you was done. So you had 2 choices: get in line or die.
Do or die.
And part of that get along was, open this Bible and take grace and be thankful for this white man's world. Be thankful for blue-eyed Jesus letting you live.
Yeah,
man, you know, it goes back to an episode of Good Times I saw when who was the when JJ drew Ned DeWino, and he hung it up on the, he drew he used Ned DeWino for his inspiration for his depiction of Jesus.
Yeah, I
and he
I
hung it
remember
up
that
on
one.
the wall, and all kind of good stuff started happening for the Evans, because you know they was always messed up. You know, they couldn't, they problem after problem after problem. And the mother was just like, nah, that ain't happening. You're not hanging this picture of a black, you're not gonna blaspheme my God like that, you know? And I always said to myself, like, if the person who is oppressing you looks just like the person they say is coming to set you free, how you gonna know the difference? You know, the person you telling me to pray to looks like the same person that has me oppressed. How, you know, it also, Minister Freedom should be back in a minute, but it also says that, you know, they'll point to certain passages in the Bible to say a slave should be happy to be a slave. You should be happy to serve.
And love your master.
Be happy to
love your enemy. You know
long suffering. That's one of the fruits of the spirit. But
it's
why
all
we
it's all
suffering
based
so
on
long?
slavery.
Yeah. Why are we suffering so long, and the people that's oppressing us don't seem like they suffering at all? Why do we gotta wait for the pie in the sky and y'all eating good right here in the physical on earth? You know? So, you know, these things as a young child to me really kind of made me really feel different. I always felt different going to church. You know, I went to one church when I was a kid, and they were putting like the little oil. I called it olive oil because they sent me to the store to go get it. They said it's holy oil, you know. So they put it on your head, they bless you, and then you're supposed to pass out. Well, I felt like if I pass out and I ain't really feel nothing, don't God know I'm lying? You know what I'm saying? He knows everything, right?
Right.
But instead, they say, oh, he must be Satan because he's not, you know, compliant to this thing. Because I see everybody falling out over the church. You know, I just watched the video the other day. Old lady walking down the aisle, older sister walking down the aisle. She waving her hand.
Waving her hand, they fall. Out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's really going on? Like
catching the Holy Spirit.
Catching the Holy Spirit, yeah, foaming at the mouth, all kind of stuff.
Knowledge. Yeah, man. I've been through it too. I grew up in the church. You know, my granddad was a pastor. And same thing like Minister Freedom. I was asking why. I was like, why are all these people Caucasians? Why is everybody white? You know what I'm saying? And once I started to ask these questions why, then I started to realize that there was lies. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to now dig them up. You know what I'm saying? That's what we say. We go to the library, dig up the lies that are buried. You see what I'm saying? So you can see where the truth is, right? Because they say we don't read, but they hide the truth in the books. So as I'm digging up, I'm reading books, I'm realizing that, wait, these people are original. You know what I'm saying? Abraham's black. Jesus is black. Moses is black. All these people are black. And I'm like, okay, why they lie now? Okay, because, you know what I'm saying? They recessive. We dealing with the devil. That's his nature to lie. You know what I mean? He's made weak and wicked. You know what I mean? So he's doing his job, you know, and the 85% is, you know, they under his rulership, you know. So yeah, me coming up in the church as well, seeing all of that, people fall out, you know, catching the Holy Ghost. I'm thinking, yo, this shit is real, but it wasn't real because I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what they feeling? I'm not feeling. Like I'm not dropping to the ground. Like I'm not feeling none of this, you know. But I wasn't caught up in the hype, you know. And on top of that, I'm bombing the pastor too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, show and prove this. He can't show and prove. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is black. Why is a picture of a white Jesus on the wall? You know what I mean? They can't show and prove. So as soon as I realized that all that was a fallacy, I started to just, you know, travel on my own path and knowledge of self. You know what I mean? And I left the church. You know what I'm saying? Because I started to realize who the true and living God was. When I met God, I met the true and living God. He made knowledge born to me that a black man was God. That's all I need to know. You know what I'm saying? And I was 18, 19 years old, you know. And
so
what was
the blowback with your people from that?
Oh, there's still a blowback. There's a blowback till this day. What are you talking about?
Wow.
The blowback don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like the blow back. I come from a Caribbean family, so my parents is Jamaican. The Jamaicans is heavy with,
Wow.
you know, with the you know what I mean? So it don't stop to this day. Like, you know, they making fun of the 5% and making jokes here and there, whatever, you know. But you know, I'm born in this. My babies is born in this. They all got righteous names, you know, and yeah, like that's what it is, you know. So I understand, you know. It's all about just showing and proving. Once you show and prove, you know, and they see that you about education, you about uplifting, and you about, you know, knowledge of self and positivity. Like they really can't deny you at the end of the day. You know, they may not want to call you God or call you King. You know, my old earth ain't calling me, you know, born king. She ain't calling me my righteous name. She, you know, she called me my
Yeah, you
government
whoever
name.
she named you when you came out the womb when she flew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we go through that, you know, and it's peace, you know what I'm saying? Because yo, I show and prove through my ways and actions, you know what I'm saying, who I am, you know what I mean? My godly natures, you know, who I be. You see what I'm saying? The title of the name is just a manifestation of those actions, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, I
Your sound went out.
go through. You can't hear? You can't hear?
You back. Yeah,
Yeah,
you back
yeah.
now. You back now.
You back now?
You back now? Yeah, yeah. That's the signs that we 5%ers go through when you got a family that's strong Christians, and you know you going and you throwing out the pork chops and different things out the house because mom's is cooking pork, and you like, nah, I'm righteous. I got a righteous name now. Call me by my righteous name, you know. And they don't want to
Yeah.
call you that. They want to call you by your slave name, and you know, and yeah, that's what we go through. If you got a family, and because some brothers got family, and the whole family's righteous. They moms and dads, they, you know, they born in the
Yeah.
nation. They ain't got to go through that. You know what I'm saying? But now I got my seeds. You know what I'm saying? And they, you know, they acknowledge me as God, and now they're born in the nation because they all got righteous names, and now we gonna renew that history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now they're going to do the same thing and add on. And now that's how you break that cycle. You break that curse, that generation curse of Christianity, because there's no more of that. You know what I'm saying? Because my babies, they all bear witness to Allah's mathematics. You know what I mean? And they acknowledge God, and they know where their family is. You know what I mean? So you can't teach my seeds nothing about no mystery God. They know who God is, you know. They laugh at the white God. They're like, that's not God. Because as babies, I showed them that the black man is God. So that's their understanding at birth. So that's why Allah was like, you teach the babies, you teach in the future. You know, once you teach the babies, then that's how we gonna add on to the nation. You know what I mean? Through the children. You know, so
Now,
yeah, that's
can
what
we
it's
touch on
about.
your attribute for a minute? How did you come? How did you come to have your name, and what was the process like for you naming your seeds?
My name is Born King Mathematics Allah. The process, I went through Allah's mathematics. You know, I look within myself and see what qualities of that I possess. You know, and I possess that of a leader. I've always been a person that, you know, I do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really follow. You know, so and then knowledge is king as well. So I was like, knowledge is the foundation. You know what I mean? And a king has to be a foundation of his kingdom. So I knew that the attribute of a king is what I wanted as my name. You know what I'm saying? As a wise black king. And born is the highest number within mathematics. You know what I'm saying? So the highest version of a king is a born king. And I born kings as well. You know what I mean? I bring kings into existence by teaching another black man that he's a king. You see what I'm saying? So born king is not only my name, but my duty, you know what I'm saying, to born other kings and queens as well, you know what I'm saying? And I got three young gods, three wise men, you know what I mean, three kings. So I showed and proved that I born king. And everything was made based on supreme mathematics, you know what I'm saying? So I got Noah, you know, that's the young god Noah. You know, and I took Noah from knowledge. I spelled it Knowah.
Yeah, everybody probably thought Noah's Ark off the rip.
Right. And that's another thing too, because I come from a Christian family and my parents was like deep, you know, Bible thumpers. I wanted to be swift and interchangeable. since I'm a wise back scientist, I'm able to use both dimensions. So there's obviously it's also Noah with the flood, but it's not spelt like that. It's spelt like knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because knowledge is the foundation. So yeah, so his name is knowledge. His name is knowledge, Allah, but I spell it Noah, Allah. To know Allah is to know the truth. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Noah means to me. When we take names, we break it down through mathematics and we draw it up. This is what Allah's mathematics taught me. That's why we study the supreme alphabets, because the supreme alphabet, there's a duality to it. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talking about, for instance, people always talk about, yo, I'm driving the CLR rule, or when they listen to, Raekwon and, and Ice Cream or whatever, you talk about CLR rule. But yeah, CLR rule spells car, but it's not only just a car, it's CLR rule. Like, do you see Allah rule? Like, see meaning to understand Allah rule. Allah's rules is mathematics. From knowledge to born, those are the rules. So do you understand Allah's rules? You see what I'm saying? So there's a duality to it. And then when people say that, gods will be like, okay, well, show and prove that. What does that mean? And you're like, oh, it means car. I mean, no, that's not all that it means. It means something deeper than that. You don't even understand the deeper complex of it. You just taking it on a surface level. You don't understand it. See what I'm saying? So the same thing is how I drew up the names with my sons. You know what I mean? So there's a circle, Noah, like Noah Ark, but then it's also knowledge to know Allah. See what I'm saying? So that was my firstborn. My secondborn, because I'm taking it through the timeline now, through the biblical timeline. So Noah was one of the prominent figures, and then after Noah, because Noah came with the flood, and then you have Solomon. So my second son's name is Son of Man. I didn't want to use Solomon; it was too biblical. But the breakdown of Solomon is Son of Man. So son, S-O-L, Sol, old man. Solomon is the son of man. See what I mean? And we say the son of man. Well, we have a national newspaper out of Medina called the Son of Man. Is a newsletter that was put together by Brother Jakid, Universal Sham God. And that's
when you say Medina, we're talking about Brooklyn, right?
We're talking about Medina, Brooklyn, yeah. So we got a newsletter out of Medina called the Son of Man. And I was also paying homage to that as well, because I got a lot of wisdom. I got a lot of jewels out of that. Rest in peace to firstborn Jakid and Universal Sham God. I used to build with the gods and get a lot of jewels, but I used to stack up on the Son of Man. I could probably even pull out an issue real quick for y'all.
Yeah.
I keep those handy. This is one of my favorite issues right here. This is called the Son of Man. Right? Okay. It's a newsletter. Y'all can see that. It got the firstborns of Medina on there. My tree, which is old man Sahim and them, is on here, and also Hashim. You know what I mean? So this is our newsletter called the Son of Man. So I named my son basically after that. So his name is Son of Man. His name is actually King Son of Man, and that's my secondborn. You know what I mean? We call him Son, the young God's son. You know what I mean, and whatnot. And then my last God, which is the understanding, is Isa. And Isa also means, Jesus, but also is the one that brought the understanding when he broke down the signs of the law, which is, you know what I'm saying? They say Jesus came and brought the understanding, the fulfillment of the law. So that was the understanding. So it's my understanding seed. He became Jesus, but Jesus is just us. His name is Jesus born King. So he's named after me. His name is Isa born King. So that was like the completion of the cipher. So yeah, so Noah, King, Son of Man, and Isa born King. Those are my three sons, three kings. Yeah, so that's me. And the God Minister Freedom, he got 7 babies, so he got
he got
a nation. He got a nation unto himself. The God got a nation unto himself. So yeah, I got my little three sons. I'm good in the game, but I ain't doing it like Minister Freedom though. That's my brother. But the God could build on his children, because they all got magnificent names, y'all.
And Minister Freedom, I've never been to Detroit, which is crazy, because I got mad family in Detroit. I got crazy family, man. A lot of ball players come out of Detroit in my family. And they come to New York a lot, man. And I could tell you, they some wild people, man. My cousins don't travel without a cooler full of whatever they like. And even my 70-something-year-old auntie, you smell weed in the house. Ain't nobody get allowed to smoke in my aunt in New York house. But when I come in there and I smell weed, I know her sister is there because she gonna do what she do. You ain't gonna stop auntie from living her life. But Detroit comes across to me like a very no-nonsense, street-oriented city, much like the city I live in right now, which is Baltimore. When you attain the knowledge of self in Detroit, how was it for you, and how did you gain your attribute?
So, me, guys, like, you know, D-Mecca's a real, like you said, it's very no nonsense. And the gods in this cipher, man, the gods out here is the same. You know, I got the name Minister Freedom, man. You know, part of it come through me wanting to be an individual to manifest, minister, to be the man I steer, to be the one that is charged with the duty of teaching. You know what I'm saying? And marrying the minds. The minister is the one who marries on the A life. You know what I'm saying? And I want to help bring. My goal is to bring freedom of mind and freedom of body, man. To be able to give a person the information and the knowledge, understanding, so that they can free their own self and then free others. You know what I'm saying? As well as I come through the doctor, man. After you get through the doctor, you gotta come see the minister, man. You know what I mean? And one of the brothers that raised me up was my man, Dr. Bahu, is God a lot, man, out here in D-Mecca. So it's a very no-nonsense city. It's a very straight to the point, knowledge of self type of thing. You know, I'm also, as well as a very active member of this culture, I'm also a speaker, an educator. I, you know, help train companies and organizations in cultural competency and cultural humility. We do youth violence prevention, violence intervention, man. A lot of youth work, a lot of company work, a lot of nonprofit work. And in those capacities, I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of seminars. You know, so it's my life's work to speak and to minister. So that's where that comes from, Minister Freedom, God. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been in the knowledge of myself. I originally came in touch with the knowledge out in Atlanta through a great book, my man, Dr. Supreme Understanding, How to Hustle and Win. And, you know, from that, the rest was history, man.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Well, man, yo, this is a beautiful conversation to have, man. I was looking forward to having it a long time, and I appreciate you, Kings, man, you gods in this culture for sharing your knowledge with the people, man. Because it's not about us. We here, you know. It is about the babies, man. I hope that somebody would be able to watch this and use it as a reference to start somewhere and obtain the knowledge of themselves, because you know your oppressor is not going to tell you who you are. You know, it's almost like the Count of Monte Cristo. You know what I mean? When there's a advantage in you making sure I don't know who I am, you're definitely not going to let me know who I am. You know what I'm saying? If you know, so we definitely need to work through the tricknology. We definitely need to come to a place where we can have a dialogue and we could build. You know what I'm saying? Because all we seem to do nowadays is destroy. And before I let y'all go, I just want to speak to that. What do you think we can do as it pertains to this violence that's taking place in our community? You know what I'm saying? This you know, how our young brothers are destroying each other at like a rate that is not sustainable.
I think any man who considers himself to have any fucking worth, and any man who wants to have a legacy and a purpose and a meaning beyond their life, beyond their money, beyond what they think they have, any man that want to get out and actually make a difference in the work that you're talking about, I think we have to make a concerted and dedicated effort to standing on our street corners, to standing on our city centers, to standing in the places wherever the youth are consistently and being positive influences and being voices of reason and wisdom and being big brothers. That don't mean going telling the young cats what the fuck to do. That mean being a brother. You see
Mm-hmm.
him so dope, and y'all so dope, because we know it's all a bunch of these older brothers, we all so dope. Y'all did y'all thing in the age. You see the young niggas selling dope, don't go tell them not to sell dope. Give them what you wish somebody would have told you while you was selling dope. And then tell him in your own way, man, you need to
Give us some game.
yes, help them.
What you gonna do with that dope money?
Brother,
Invest
we
it in a
brothers.
business.
Yes, we need big brothers in our community. Our communities are suffering from rampant fatherlessness, rampant single parent communities. What we need is a village. What we need
Mm-hmm.
for each man to take an hour out of his day, 2 hours of his day, and find a spot and find a place that he can insert himself into that said community. And, you know, with 10 to 20, 30 of the right motherfuckers consistently, you can make a definite change, man, in the community in no limited time. You know what I'm saying?
And
So that,
just to add on to what the God is saying, a lot of the brothers, you know, we coach basketball, you know, coach football. Get into your community. Be a OG where the baby's at. Some of the brothers and students that got knowledge of self is because they coach was a 5%er. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, they're big OG that was in their school system or whatever. You know, the you know, the boys and girls clubs or whatever. Get involved in all of that, you know, and just be, like the God said, a positive influence in the community. And it just takes one or two young brothers to just, you know, get the knowledge of themselves. That's the only thing that's going to stop all this killing. You know what I mean? It's brothers getting the knowledge of themselves, and then they got purpose. Then they'll know their true, you know, their true origin in this world, and then they won't be killing each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? They'll be a positive force as well. Positive force attracts positive force. You know what I'm saying? It's like a magnet. You positive, you're gonna turn someone that's negative into a positive. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. You know, just being that magnetic force in your community. You know.
as well as God is at the point too, man. Too few of our men, bro, have realized that a lot of these brothers, bro, gonna die, man, and nobody gonna even remember you was here. Niggas think 'cause you got some clothes, you got a few dollars, you got a nice car, and motherfuckers you know, kick the bucket, man. Motherfucker never remember you was here, man, because you never left no legacy. You didn't leave a purpose. You didn't make an impact on the world.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching the knowledge itself and being a brother to other individuals allows an individual an open path to do that. Write your name in history.
Mm-hmm.
And I would add on that to say too, just with terminology. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we come from a country where, not for nothing, a nigga ain't shit,
Right,
then it ain't shit for me to kill a nigga,
right,
even if I'm supposedly one.
right.
But when I address my brother as king, I address my brother as God, I address my brother as Lord. I'm not trying to kill God. I'm not trying to kill a king. I'm not trying to kill Lord. I'm not trying to kill my brother. So when I meet brothers off the rip, the first thing I say to you is peace, good brother, because I know everybody can't handle me calling them a God. They can't handle you calling them God. They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So when I say peace, good brother, I've already extended myself to let you know I come in peace. I'm declaring you a good brother without even knowing you. Or if I come to you and I say peace, King, how you? You know? And if I take it to the further extent and I say peace, God, you got to understand that I'm speaking to the God in you from the God in me. We are the original people of this earth. If we don't understand that, you know what I'm saying? And if I didn't learn no other lesson in the 120, it was that first lesson of who is the original man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's hard to digest, even as an original person, you know, when you've been brought up and people been beating you down. And, you know, this starts early in our households for a lot of us, where you start getting a lot of negative, you know, reinforcement as to who you are and who you think you are. And you think you smart, you think you this, you think you that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's where I feel like we have the hardest place to deal with, because to me, that's spiritual. That's not necessarily just X's and O's. That's coming from the spirit. When you break somebody's spirit and you're able to, you know, put them in a place where, you know, they hit this glass ceiling where they say, I can't jump no higher. So even when you take the glass off of them, they're gonna sit right there in the middle and just never move. And you know, like I said, I'm Power Cipher. This, you know, that's my physical degree, and I feel like it's my duty to speak as much truth to this perceived power as possible to wake as many of my people up, man. And that's just as an OG. You know, that's a
That's
older guard.
peace. And that's what you're supposed to do, man. You know, and I acknowledge the power in you, you know, and you doing the good work, you know what I'm saying, with this God Hours podcast and its peace. You know, I appreciate you adding on. I don't be doing a lot of podcasts. Like I said, I really just do my brother Minister Freedom. And, you know, because we, you know, we basically adding on and teaching together. So this is one of the first podcasts I really just did, you know, and I see some of my family members tapping in, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's peace as well, you know. But yeah, brother, keep adding on, keep building. And, you know, we, like the God said, it takes a village, you know, we all got to do this. We all got to add on and do our part, you know, as OGs, you know what I'm saying? And
before we go,
yeah.
Before we go, just let the people know where they can find you, where we can continue these conversations on you guys' spaces, so we can just we can keep this knowledge thing going 360.
So for me, the biggest thing is, man, of course you can find me. You want to find me directly, man, Minister Freedom on all platforms. LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, man, all that. Instagram. Now, the real movement is happening on the 5% connection. The ice is in there, guys. The ice is some ice in the cooler. The real movement is happening on the 5% connection. Okay? Well, our goal is to be a direct link and a connection for the people to the knowledge of self for the 5%ers, man. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the 5percentconnection.com, put your name, your phone number, your email address in, and we'll get you connected right closest to the closest gods and earths near you. So that's what we do. As well as, you know, we got constant streams of content. We got mad content on all platforms, man. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all things 5%ers, man. You know, flyers to rallies where you can find parliaments and rallies at in different cities across the country. Videos and reels, man, of our older brothers and just science in general. As well as we do the God and Earth Hour podcast on Fridays, man. So we Fridays at like 10 p.m. We usually have like real dope guests, man. We'll be on there for at least an hour or two going in. Me and my man IC. This week we probably have to have some super powerful guests out from out Jersey. So you can tune into that live on Instagram, live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. So that's the God and Earth Hour podcast, man. So we try to have these type of dialogues, man, consistently and on a weekly basis. Sometimes we do them on Tuesdays, but for sure Fridays though.
No doubt, man. Everybody tap in, man. Please follow these brothers while they right here on the screen. I appreciate you, brothers, so much, man. This was a necessary conversation that I'll be quite honest with you, I've been waiting my whole life to have. You know? And now that we tapped in, that's what it is.
And for my joint, I'm just Born King 7 on Instagram. You know what I mean? You can tap in on Instagram, and I do the Knowledge of Self series. You know, so you know I'm always you know I'm basically always, you can reach me on Instagram. But once you tap in with the 5% connection, you basically tapped in with me, because that's family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how you reach me. And we have every Sundays at the God Hour, we got civilization classes, Zoom classes. That's mostly for the students, brothers that actually want to learn about the 5% Nation. They could tap in with me and just let me know, you know, you want to learn, and then I tap you into the classes. So that's every Sunday at the God Hour. We got the Zoom classes as well, you know, and that's basically that, man. You know, we just about making knowledge born and just teaching this truth, yo. Word up.
I just want to, you know, applaud both of you good brothers, man. You've been a perfect representation of what, you know, what people need to know about, you know, the way of life. You know, this Islam way of life, this I self Lord and Master way of life, man. And I hope that the people were able to get something from this, the layman, and I hope the people that have knowledge of self can continue to study, continue to manifest, and continue to spread the knowledge, man, because this is what's necessary in order for us to build and be what we need to be, man. So, man, salute to both of y'all.
Yeah, no doubt.
Salute. We can do this again. We can do this whenever,
Whenever
man. We
you
can do this
want.
once a month, once a week. It don't matter, man. I'm
What
definitely
what do you
checking for
call
your
yourself?
platform.
What's your attribute? Not busy? Not Burns?
Nat Burns, you know, we could call that now a law truth. I don't know, man. You know,
you gotta
when
know.
I was
You
coming up, I
gotta
called
know.
myself Chanel Mel Kwan. My man said you doubled up on the Mel, huh? I said, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta know. You gotta know what you call yourself, my man.
Now it's now a law truth. That's how we gonna keep
Now
it,
a
because that's
law
what we
truth.
building with.
All
A
right,
law's truth, man.
now a law
Right
truth.
now.
That's peace.
You know,
All
now a
right.
law truth, man.
That's
But
what's up.
thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man, from the bottom of my mind, man, for real, man.
Got you, man. Got you.
And when I come to the D, man,
Are
Minister
you
Freedom, I need you to look out, man. You know, because I know it's a little rough out there, you know?
Hit me up.
For sure. And T-Dot, you already know what we doing out there. And I just sent you a package, Minister Freedom. I'm gonna DM you so I can get your address. I got to send you some merch and all that. Yours is coming, man, and they need to stop what they doing with these tariffs and all that. It shouldn't cost that much to send something to Canada, man. You know what I'm saying?
How much was it? You taxed
No
It
me?
was about $15, but come on, man.
Oh, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
No
Yeah,
doubt,
man. It's all good, man. But yeah,
No doubt.
not Dizzy. Now a law truth. Good to have you, man. You know, keep doing what you're doing.
Peace.
Is this gonna be filmed and then post online? What do you do with the live? Do you film it? You replay
Yeah,
it?
when we in this, when they allow me to save it, it will definitely be reposted. I'll post it on YouTube as well, and we could definitely you know, do whatever we have to do with this, man, because I think this was definitely a dope build, and
Okay.
it needs to definitely be spread as much as possible, man. Y'all took it from elementary on up, man, and I think that's exactly what's necessary. I think a lot gets lost in translation. A lot of people are so layman oriented that a lot of things go over our head. I think y'all did a perfect representation today of explaining things from an elementary perspective to get it where it need to be going forward. You know what I mean?
All right then, brother. Yo, so I say peace. You know,
Peace.
proper education
Peace.
always corrects errors, man. You know, and that's what it's
Peace,
about.
God.
Proper education always corrects errors.
Always correct errors. Peace.
Peace,
Peace.
God.
We're not doing it like this. We're doing it like this.
Yeah,
You know
we're
what
not
I'm
doing
saying?
it like this.
Together.
We do it like this. Together.
Peace.
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 Next time, fellas. Peace.